They know African business better than anyone else. Hear directly from the key players unlocking Africa's potential on FaceTime in CNN Marketplace Africa. Fridays only on CNN. In association with Dangote.
We've recently discovered that there are about 35 million people in slavery around the world today. So slavery occurs almost any time that someone's made vulnerable and doesn't have the protection of the rule of law. If you want to understand the presence of slavery, you have to understand the presence of corruption in most countries.
We need leaders we can actually believe. Whether they're corporate, governmental, military, have an enormous responsibility. We're talking about people developing a higher level of consciousness than we've had up to now. Enabling humanity to actually evolve because we have to.
When we all come together as leaders and people, elders and young, we can make the world the one we want, because no one is free as long as others are not. Let all of us come together to make the 21st century the century of humanity.
All this week, CNN's Freedom Project is focusing on how human traffickers are preying on young tea pickers in India. Yesterday, I spoke with journalist Mohammed Leela about how poor girls are being lured from home with promises of a better life. And today, he talks to a convicted trafficker who admits selling girls into slavery.
For many trafficking victims, this is where their modern-day slavery begins. Loaded onto crowded trains, heading for a life of bonded labor. But for the people behind it all, it takes months of planning.
Do you still remember her face?
Paula Jen is a convicted trafficker who spent 4 months behind bars, admitting he tricked young girls from tea plantations with promises of a better life. He agreed to talk to us, and as we drive through town, he describes how he was the middleman taking 3 girls to Delhi, knowing they might never come home.
How much money were you paid for taking these girls to Delhi?
30,000 रुपया मिला था.
30,000.
It works out to less than $200 American per girl.
Do you think it's okay for people like you to traffic these girls, take money, and send these girls away, and they never come home?
हमको तो पता नहीं था उस टाइम में, तो अच्छा लगा. हम जब अभी ये पता चला है हमको जो सजा अभी मिल रहा है, तब हमको अभी पता चल गया कि बुरा कम मिलेगा.
Traffickers like Paula Jen specifically target young girls on tea plantations. He says it was an easy way for him to make some quick money. To find out why, we head to the nearest police district.
Sub-Inspector Bora.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mohammed with CNN's Freedom Project.
When girls go missing, it's Sub-Inspector Bohra's job to find them.
कितना ज़्यादा?
कितना 20-30 हो सकता है.
20-30.
20-30 cases ऐसा.
So he just said there are about 20 or 30 cases of trafficking just in this one district alone.
Most of them are girls who work and live on tea plantations, sometimes making just pennies a day, with no education and no hope for a better life.
Why are there so many cases of trafficking involving families or girls from these tea gardens?
If you ask me, the sub-inspector says, people who work on tea gardens are financially poor, they're uneducated, and they have a lot of debt. So, they need a lot of money. And that makes them perfect targets. Hundreds have been tricked by phony placement agencies who promise them jobs and money that they can send home. Instead, they're sold into bonded labor or the sex industry with no way to escape. Back at the railway station on the very same platform where he took those girls away, this trafficker insists he's a changed man.
If you had the chance to do it again and you knew 100% that you wouldn't get caught, would you do it again? Would you put more girls on a train like this?
नहीं, हम तो अभी नहीं लगता है ऐसा कि हम ऐसा काम करें, जितना पैसा दे कुछ भी दे हमको ऐसा कर दूंगा ऐसा कर दूंगा.
But beneath his remorse, there's an even darker reality. For every ex-trafficker like him, there are dozens more waiting to take his place. For the CNN Freedom Project, Mohammed Leela in Guwahati, northeastern India.
Thankfully, all around the world, people are trying to make a difference in the fight against human traffickers. On our website, you can find stories of hope from brave survivors and links to those helping in that global battle. Just go to cnn.com/freedom. Brazil's embattled former president has a new job, and that is igniting anger on the streets.